Alright y'all, I'm gonna give you a quick little how-to install a pull-out drawer shelf for an Ultra. It's the first time I've done an Ultra. I already mocked up the size of the shelf that I need. I didn't go all the way out because this is the part that stays behind the middle divider. And if I went all the way out, I wouldn't be able to pull the drawer out. So you got some screws, some screw holes, and some screws that come with it. Once you figure out the size that you need, you're gonna install one screw there, another screw here, and your final screw there, and that will hold the drawer in place for the size that you already marked up. All right, so now I got my screws in. That makes sure that the shelf doesn't expand anymore or collapse. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull out the shelf to expose the rails, the tracks that it slides on, and I'm gonna mock up some holes I'm gonna place in the rail through the adhesive strap or strips, and that will allow me to make holes in there so I can run zip ties through them and secure the shelf to the actual drawer itself. This is important because if you don't secure this down to the actual shelf, when you pull out the shelf, it'll just flip off out of the machine. Also, to note that when I do this, I take out the shelf and I turn it upside down. This way, the shelf doesn't have to worry about clearing the little lip when the shelf's upright. So just to give you an idea of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, all I'm doing is making two holes. One's gonna be right here, and one's gonna be right here. I'm gonna have the strap go over this way, and I'm putting two more holes right here, one right here, and one right here to go across. So that way, it stays in place left to right and front to back. So I'm just using another screwdriver that I have in my tool bag and just puncturing it like so. And then the same thing on this side. Come over here, right about here. Same thing on that side. And then same thing over here. Then you'll get your straps, your zip ties, and you'll run them through, and you'll secure that down. And you just repeat it for all three rows. All right, so all I'm using is the zip ties that come with the machine. Some people say you gotta use heavy duty ones. I've been doing this setup for like 6 months now, and I've never had to use heavy duty zip ties. Never had an issue. So if you do the first hole, it's very important to do it this way because you don't want the fastener part along the road, the track. You want it underneath it. So if you do the hole, and then you come back underneath and just secure it. All right, so once you're done, your strap should look something like that. And I'll give you under look how it looks. We're secure. Of course, we're gonna cut the excess off. But so you have two straps here, or two zip ties, correct me. Two zip ties there, and two zip ties there. So now this thing is says not going anywhere. So yeah, now that your track is zip tied down to the actual shelf itself, it's kind of what it looks like, right? So it's not gonna go anywhere. So it's pretty sturdy. This is the front, so you come to the machine, you pull it out as so. Right now there's nothing in here, so it's able to stay in place without falling over. But once this shelf is full, it's very important that you zip tie down the actual shelf to the machine itself. All right, so with a whole bunch of finessing, my first time ever working with the Ultra, a bit of a headache, but this is what it looks like. I have 4 shelves of drinks on this side. The second shelf on the top is going to be from sandwiches. Still not done putting all my inventory in. And this is going to be your pulled out shelf right here. So this is what I was telling you. If you don't put zip ties, it'll fall over. So the next thing I'm going to do is add the zip ties. The zip ties are probably the hardest part of this whole installation because getting to the back side, so what I'll run the zip ties through is through the side here, to the side right here, and it'll run through one of the little holes right here that you use to change where you want the position of your shelf. All right, so I only have 2 zip ties on right now, just because it's gonna take me a little bit longer because I'm gonna take these drinks out. This is kind of how it looks. I have one in the front and one in the rear. So if you look, I have it going around the frame of the shelf here, and then it's gonna go through one of the little eyelets here. And then the same thing for the back here. I'm having it go off, since I have the shelf upside down, I'm having the zip tie go off of the, I don't know if you can see it here, but that's the little lip, and it runs through the side here. I'm gonna do the same thing on the opposite side, but this concludes the video. Here's the final look on that, and just to give you an idea, full extension. And it's wobbly because I don't have one in the back right corner or the front right corner yet. Smooth. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I'm still working on the layout of this Ultra, first one ever. But actually, it's not going to be as hard as I thought to secure this haha shelf to the machine. Because normally what I would do is I would run the zip ties to the shelf. There's a little holes right here. But I'm going to take advantage of this grate right here that's in the middle to divide it. And I'm just going to zip tie the shelf down to the middle divider. Should make things easier. Alright, so it's all zip tied down now. Let me show you what it looks like. So, no, that shelf ain't going. It's not going anywhere. Boom. I gotta finish filling it up, but overall, I'm only gonna put one drawer here on the, and that's gonna be on the left side now that we can use the double door feature. And on this left side here, that's gonna be where all my candies are and my smaller items. The right side, I'm gonna make use of this, and I'm gonna actually put some more bags of chips than I normally would have. Other than that, hope you enjoy this video.